Hi there, you're watching Gardens and Graveyards, and today we are in the garden and I just planted a bunch of dahlias. This project has been a couple of weeks in the making, so I'm not sure exactly how this video is going to look after all the edits because I've just been filming short little pieces and taking pictures along the way. You know, sometimes in the garden things are a process and they take a little bit of time, and sometimes it's just about the joy of gardening, right? So I never want my garden to feel like a burden. I never want it to feel like a job. It's one of my greatest pleasures to be in the garden outside of being a granny. This is my therapy, this is my love, and it's my joy, and I don't want it to ever feel like, oh God, I have to do the thing. So, and I mean, there are some chores that I'm not in love with, and I do kind of drag my feet about it, but there are other things that it's okay to just slow down, let it be a process, and really, we have to work with the seasons that we are given. So today is a beautiful day. It hailed earlier, it rained, it's blue skies and sunny right now. Oh, you can't tell, but it's beautiful out right this moment, and yet the sun is about to set. So, you know, we've had 2 weeks of lots of wind and rain. A couple of weeks ago, we even had weather down into the 20s, which is unusual for us this time of year. So, you know, I couldn't just come out here and plant all my dahlias. I can receive them, you know, do the inventory and get them all out here all, you know, in a day or so. Not in my joy and pleasure, because it's not my job. I'm not getting paid for it. I don't have to do it on anybody's timeline except a little bit Mother Nature's timeline, because obviously I want to plant them at a time that's going to give them the best success. So I just wanted to an idea of what I planted and where and why, because there's going to be a couple of things that you're going to notice about my planting techniques that are unusual for planting in general. So one of the things that I wanted to point out is that dahlias do not need any fertilizer. They don't want any special kind of soil. They don't want any special kind of attention. As a matter of fact, they'll actually react kind of badly if you give them too much, you know, extra. So they want to be planted about 4 to 6 inches deep, and depending on the variety and how big they get, they can be planted anywhere from 18 inches all the way down to several tubers and 1 square foot. For ease and just generalization, everything got planted at 6 inches and about a shoulder width apart. So I basically just stepped them all out and planted them whatever my shoulder width is. I don't really know what that is, but that's what I did. And then no fertilizer, and they won't even be watered in because they don't want to be watered until they have leaves above ground. And the reason for that is their tubers are really susceptible to rotting, and we don't want that to happen, especially in my climate. I'm on the Oregon coast in zone 9A, and we are very wet and rainy, so I definitely don't need to water my tubers today or anytime soon. The other thing I will point out, actually I'm gonna flip this around and show you kind of what I did. So this is the garden bed that I planted my dahlias in, and I started on the other side of this weeping maple tree, and I did 5 holes here, and then I did 5 holes here, and then I did 4 holes here. I take that back. I did 4 holes here because I discovered that with spacing I would end up really close to this tree and it's gonna be too shady, so I did not want to plant one there. I'll plant that one somewhere else. So the idea behind this is the really tall ones are going to be in the back, and medium ones, and then short ones in front. And I'm calling this back to front because this is the main path that we come walking up to our front our front door from the driveway. However, on the other side of this patch of irises, I planted more dahlias. So if you step over onto this side, I planted a whole row of dahlias here. And those are all fairly tall. I'm not going to be planting any on this side because this is a walkway. On the other side of the sea thrift, there's a walkway sort of here. But I did want some dahlias here because as the iris yellow up and fade away, the dahlias will be tall enough to hide all that old foliage. Okay, so you remember when I divided all of these dahlias up, I wanted to just give a quick update on the dahlias and how they look. It's the end of April. We'll be planting them up in just a couple of weeks. I got a confirmation in my email for new dahlias getting sent to me. So as soon as they get here, we'll go through those and then we'll plant them out. They've been just sitting up here like this all winter long in their little boxes in our hobby room out in the garage. So I think they did pretty good. So I've opened them up just to make it easy for this update, but you can see that they're still a little bit firm, a little bit squishy. They're not all dried out. They still look pretty good. They're even starting to sprout a little bit. You see that little sprout right there? And we've got, they're all looking pretty good. This box had some moss in it to protect them. This looks a little bit dried out. It's not bad. It's not terrific. That one looks a little bit better, but I don't know if it has an eye. Not all of these are going to actually grow because not all of them have eyes, but we'll plant them and see what happens. These all look really good. Like, they're really good looking. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy. I haven't checked on them at all this winter, and they seem to be holding up just fine. There's some more. These ones are starting to sprout in the bag. Let's see, these are doing 2 different kinds. Yeah, so anyhow, I just thought I'd give a little update on it. I know it's not much to see, but I'm glad to see that I'm not seeing any that are squishy, and I'm not seeing any that are like completely dried out either. Any bulb company worth their salt will not send you your bulbs or tubers until it's time for you to plant in your zone. So you'll see here that I bought 4 different varieties. I only got 4 small tubers, and they are printed with the tuber name, and sometimes it's kind of hard to read, but they're there. And you can see they've got a little bit of an eye on there, a little bit of green growth. And this time they actually sent me some tags, which I've not received from them before, so that was kind of exciting. So what I did to decide on how I was going to organize these flowers this year is I cut out pictures of all the varieties that I have, and I put them in different arrangements by color, by texture, by height, and maybe just by, the pleasure of my eye, just to kind of get an idea until I really settled on the design that I really wanted. What I decided on was to plant them in groups of color to get big swaths of similar colors. Alright, so after going through my dahlias and determining which ones actually have growth potential, I ended up discarding that and that. And I know it seems crazy because they look like, what? It looks like a good tuber, but there's no neck and there's no eye and there's just nothing growing on it. So they're just not going to grow. There's nothing I can do about it. And yet there will be little tiny ones and they have new growth on them. You can see that. You can see the little growth right there. So that's what I'm looking for in each one of these. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I have 5. Sorry. I have 5 Jenna, 1 Duet. I have this little tray full of possibly Jenna, possibly I'm a Hottie. So I'm definitely going to grow these separately to make sure that I can figure out which one is which. I know these are Jenna's. I'm not positive about these. Then I have 12 Ivanetti, 5 Ahoy Matey, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Envy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Lights Out, and we have 1 Gay Princess, 2 Merry Mums, 1 Poodle Skirt, 1 Gets Crazy, and 2 Black Satin, and 1 Lady Liberty. And then of course we have our new ones that just came like a couple of weeks ago, which is a Marin, a Smarty Pants, a Little Sunshine, and a Nettie. So we'll get these out pretty soon.
It's been raining for weeks.
Huh?
It's been raining for weeks, so the ground's nice and soft.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So then I think I'll just do windows. 5 in. So as you can see, I'm using an auger to plant these dahlias. It makes the job super fast and super easy. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I am just drilling holes right through my ground cover. And that's not a big deal to me because my ground cover will grow back quick and easy, and I'm all about living mulch. So there are both wild Oregon strawberry and blue star creeper in these beds, and I just let them take over, but I'm not worried about, wrecking them by drilling holes in them either. The other thing that you might notice different about my dahlia planting techniques is I do not have a staking system in place. And that is simply because I have not experienced any flopping or any reason to stake my dahlias. If I need to stake them, I will, but I've never had any issues with that in the past. Oh, we're putting these in. I do not label everything in my garden, but because there are so many varieties of dahlias, I've decided to label them, and I'm also going to be labeling all of my hostas. But my plan is to pull those labels up in the winter because I've just had no good luck with labels staying readable over winter. So this is really just a summer label system that will help me identify the dahlias as they're blooming. Okay. I have all my dahlias that are going out in this area. I don't know if you can hear the high-pitched buzzing sound in the background, but that is a sonar mole deterrent because we have had problems with moles this year, so we're trying it out. These are all ready to go. You see all the growth coming out of these dahlias. The other thing, I've probably talked about this in other videos, but I just use a Sharpie and write the name of the dahlia right on it, so I know exactly which dahlia I'm handling, because they all kind of look the same at this point. So, moving on. This is grass in here.
Oops. Got him?
Yep. 2 of these are new ones. So we have Smarty Pants and Nettie, which I'm putting Nettie at the end, and then we have Merry Mums at that end. So those are your family members. It's kind of fun. All like together.
My mom and my grandma.
Awesome. So after I got done planting outside in the front yard, I potted up some of my extra dahlias in 1-gallon pots, just in case those dahlias don't sprout, and I really want those dahlias, so I put them in pots, and if they sprout up in my front yard, those pots will go to friends and family. And then I still have more dahlias back here. So this box actually is going to go in the backyard probably tomorrow or so. I probably won't show that. I'll show you where I put them, probably in a backyard garden tour at some point, but it's just going to be super easy. There's only 3 different kinds of there's 4 different types of dahlias, sorry. And you know, they just look like this, little sprout on them, and I'll just plant them in the ground somewhere, in raised beds somewhere, and that's where they'll live for a couple of years until I change out that theme garden to something else. So these are all really super dark burgundy black dahlias, and 1 Lady Liberty, which is a white dahlia. So those will go in my black and white themed garden. And then over here I have, this box is full of a dahlia that I'm not really sure if it's Jenna or I'm a Hottie. So I'm gonna just give these ones away to people who don't really care, so long as they want a pink dahlia. I'm just gonna give them these dahlias. And then I have 3 Jennas for sure, and one of my sister-in-law's name is Jenna, so she is going to get some of these Jenna dahlias for her garden. And then I think I'm going to give 1 to my mom because she really loves pink dahlias. And then I have 2 more red dahlias, and I haven't really decided what to do with them because I really love the red dahlias, and I probably want them in my theme garden next year when I do black, white, and red. But dahlias don't love to be in containers, so I'm just trying to make a decision about exactly what I'm going to do with those red dahlias for this year. But that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully it all translates good. I'm going to be sharing with you how I organized the dahlias as far as color, and how I made decisions about where I was planting which dahlia, because I kind of played with a couple of different ideas, and I'll share my process with you, my design process with you in this video. So hopefully that was an enjoyable process for you to watch. And until the next time, please keep celebrating life, because this is the only one you have. And I will see you in the next one. And make sure that you like and subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified every time that we posted a new video. And this really helps me grow my channel. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time. Bye.